This is Creso, and this is part 77 of the Human Journal, Talking with the Living. Over the weekend, I was doing a little bit of an experiment. I was talking to a friend of mine. I was just telling her about that, when we wake up, most of us will think that we're awake. We talk about we had a dream, an interesting dream, and maybe a lot of you will say, well, I didn't dream of anything last night. Well, something I had a deeper connection about, just about how life is, and I guess I could say it in a different angle, but I just want to go forward with this. When you're awake, or whether you're asleep, every awakened state, let's just put it that way, every awakened state is considered a dream state, all right? And I was talking to her about that, that idea. And I was thinking about the movie Inception that came out back around maybe 2008, 2010, one of those, somewhere around that. And how, each dream, let's just say one individual had a dream, and then they wake up, they end up in another dream. And I was just telling her, I said, this reality that we all call it awakened state is considered a dream. And then I went further that, everything changed. Nothing really stays the same. You figure something is going on in your life and something changed. And maybe some people may not, realize it. Maybe some people feel like everything's the same all the time. No, things change a lot. It's the very same thing like your dream. A lot of things that we put in ourselves, our feelings, and a lot of the energy that you release, you do make an impact, whether it's obvious or not. And that does happen, let's just say, in your awakened state. But in a dream, when you have some control of your dream, let's just say you have an awareness of your dream, and you think about something, okay, and let's just say you're emotional, or you have some doubt, your dream suddenly change. Same thing when you have going on, let's just say, your awakened state. You have some doubts, you keep enforcing that a lot more. Let's say you're having a bad day, you keep saying, I'm having a bad day, and then boom, suddenly something's going on that day. You're having a bad day because you manifest that. Remember, anybody that's been following my previous parts, I was talking about synchronicity. Synchronicity goes in every single dimension or every single awakened state. Or I could say a dream state. Whatever you put in, whether if it's in your physical body or whether if in your spirit, you're going to synchronize to that experience. Okay? It does apply in the physical and the spirit world. The reason why we call it the physical world, because our brain interprets it of things of what we touch. Your brain say, yes, the wall is solid, and then boom. That's just a little quick example. This is the physical world. And it's okay. It's the experience of living in the idea of a physical, greedy world. Now, I was telling her about this, this idea over Friday. And then I said to her, I said, I'm going to focus. When I go to sleep, I'm going to focus. I'm going to really, I'm going to alter my experience in this reality. I'm going to, and I kept on. I went to sleep. I focused. And when I woke up around Saturday, I find myself talking to my mother that passed on. Yes, I was talking to her. I was talking to her from within. And it's the same thing when I talk to my mother from a different lifetime. okay? And it was pretty natural. I was talking to her. I was telling her, how you doing? And she told me she's doing fine. Her voice was very similar. She was telling me things that, I'm going to make this short, things that stand out. She was telling me she's seen the people that she does know, before the time that she was on Earth. And her, let's just say my uncle or her first husband, okay? Her first husband had passed on, okay? And she see other people that she knows. But she told me something like this, that they look different. And I said, what do you mean different? And then I sensed something. I was able to pick up somewhat of a visual idea of what she's talking about. What she means that they look different is that they reincarnated to a different life already. So I said to her, I said, are you, and she pretty much understands or knows exactly what I was going to say before I said it. But she went on and told me that she's going to be in the spirit world for now. At some point she will, if she decides what direction she's going to go from there. Now, so I took this opportunity just to let some feelings out. And I said to her that, the last words that you told me in the hospital to not to leave you. You were scared. And I told her from within that, I didn't have any intention of leaving you. I told you at the hospital that everything's okay. She told me she understands. She's not feeling like that now. She knows that I was intentionally trying to leave her alone in the hospital. The reason why I'm saying this to everybody is that, my own mind was trying to put some guilt on me. Or I was stopping myself having these memories that that was the very last thing she told me, not to leave her. And the next day, she was in the ICU unit with a tube in her mouth. She wasn't able to talk, obviously, and she was sedated with I guess you could say some painkillers, whatever. But I wasn't able to have a conversation with her. Okay, so to go back with my conversation with her, so she was telling me that she understands. She's not holding anything against me. I felt like I just needed to share that to her. I went on and told her, I said, I had to make a decision to pick the hospital when the EMT took you. And she told me she understands now. It's everything happens for a reason. She's feeling good. She's not feeling any of that, like any regretful feeling. But she's feeling good. And she told me she'll always be there. And she knows what I am. And meaning she knows that I reincarnated into this body, and she knows a lot about me now, more so than ever. And that was, the conversation just drifted away. She said she will always be there, and that was the conversation I had from within. Synchronicity, the next day, Sunday, early Sunday morning, right? I wanted to go to sleep, and I was going to keep on, altered my reality, when I get up, because again, I do feel deep down inside every awakened state is a dream. It is a dream state. I don't want to confuse anybody. So anyway, to go back, I was really focusing, because I was meditating, and to alter my reality. When I woke up Sunday morning, I had a different feeling inside of me. I woke up, I looked forward, and I saw my mother's photo, a photo of her. Okay? Her photo was next to like, we have like a stack of file papers and receipts and stuff together. But her photo was like on the front part of the pile of receipts and bills and all that other stuff. And I looked, and the photo had like a white background. It's a photo of her face, obviously, and she had brown hair. It was a younger version of her. And that moment, the very moment I was seeing that photo, I had a different memory that was in me. That was basically, the feeling was, or is basically that I know something in me saying that she is, let's play the game that someone's alive, okay? Everyone always lives, but let me just go on with this. I had just a knowing that she is on Earth. She's alive, she's on Earth, and it was like a different memory, like from a different reality. Okay, that happened at the very moment when I was looking at that photo. When I look again to focus my vision, to look again, the photo disappeared. Now, I almost forgot to mention this. When I was seeing this photo of her, okay, my own mind was, my own ego was trying to come in and inject doubt, self-doubt, meaning it was just the mind. The ego is not necessarily bad. It's just the logical mind always try to put things that, whatever relies on a physical or something, that it was basically felt it was out of its space or its own realm. So my mind was telling me, no, she's dead. She's not alive. What are you doing? And for that moment, I did have a small doubt. But the photo disappeared. The photo disappeared along with this memory. Like I was shifted back into this version of this reality. So it was an interesting experiment that I've done over the weekend. But I'm very convinced, just going further, more and more clarity about life, what life really is. A lot of people talk about that this world is this is a holographic world, and however you want to call it, but it's this life, this everyday life that you see is really a dream state. It's more, I could say maybe it's a different level, like a lot of people talk about lucid dreaming and all that. I could say that the awakened state that we observe most of the time is a little bit more advanced. It may not seem like it, or you may not agree what I'm saying, that's fine. But this awakened state it's definitely a dream state. We go through a lot of deja vu. You've seen this moment before. A lot of strange things goes on. When people passes on, okay, it's no different than when you go to sleep and you get up. And yes, you're going to interact with spirits. And it all depends on your frequency level. It really is. You can alter your reality if you focus right. Okay, if you focus enough, and you really have to control your mind here. You have to, okay, because our own ego is going to want to be comfortable in that box. It feels safe to be in this box. It doesn't want to go outside of that. It's weird. I mean, people take different let's say people take psychedelics, and your mind, depends where you at, you might freak out, okay, because your mind is losing ground, okay. But the thing is that this awakened state that we call, okay, it's a different realm, but it's a dream state. A lot of crazy thing goes on in this world, but things do change. And I'm glad I did this experiment, and it was synchronicity that I spoke with my mother, and I just felt good about it. Now, when I did this, it's the exact same thing that I talked to my mother from a different time. And I have to ask myself, even now I'm recording, like, what's the difference? And I say to myself, and I'm thinking at this very moment that there's really no difference. Me channeling or me allowing other beings or ET spirits channel through my body, okay, doing my my DMT experience, is no different than I channeling through this body from all these years. It's no different. It's the same thing. You know, I watched this show. There's a link that I provided below my audio about UFO and the phenomenal. And this lady was saying that, well, a lot of people were saying that she's the first one. She's the only one that talks about UFOs and the phenomenal all in one topic. And I kind of smiled. I'm saying to myself, no, she's not the only one. She's not the only one. And I want to add my thoughts on this video that I watch in this journal. And she was just talking about her feelings. I understand her frustration about, for example, about spirits. Spirits is a little bit more easy to communicate. She do believe that the thing with the ETs and the spirits, they're all in the same thing. Now, anybody that's been following my channel, okay, I do, in a lot of my clips, I do my best to bridge a lot of the ETs and spirits, the spirit world, into one. Because, you see, ETs, a lot of people, I don't know, I mean, I can say a lot of people don't realize ETs have out-of-body experience. I'm living proof of that, whether people believe me or not, but I'm living proof. Humans and ETs could do the same thing. The difference between humans, okay, is that humans, you see, and everything's based on life experience. It's a life experience. It's the most simplest way I'm going to put it. People go home in different abilities that in their own mind they're not going to understand how they're able to do it. You know, the lady was talking about when people interact with ETs, people are able to have this ability of intuition and all that. She feels that the ETs gave that to her. No, the ETs didn't give that to her. What happened is that the interaction that you have with these beings, because of their frequency level, you was able to unlock what the abilities that you have to do. Humans are able to hone in on the intuition. Humans could pretty much manipulate time. You know, a lot of people could do this. A lot of people could have an automatic, I call it an automatic out-of-body experience. Just like I had in my other life in a different time space. Having an out-of-body experience is like going to the store. She feels, she was expressing about ET's abduction. They come as they go, they abduct people. We don't know who they are. They don't say anything to us. They don't communicate. Now, I gotta say this. I'm gonna say this, and I know a lot of people might disagree. You know, in your spirit, beneath your logical mind, everybody, There, you basically, you give an invitation to be taken up to a spacecraft. Whatever experience that you, or whatever you've gone through, you did put an invitation out. You agree. You know, nothing's done by accident. That's the best way I could put it. Most ETs are not into abducting humans. The ET beings that I talk to, other beings, okay, that's not what they're about. They have emotions very similar to humans. Okay, most of the beings that I interact with, they're more, I guess I could just put it in translation, they're more laid back. Some ET beings are just spirit. Some ET beings that have an out-of-body experience and they go right back into their physical body. They're very highly, let's just say, into technology. Okay. I don't want to say ETs are more advanced than humans. I feel like there's different levels within life itself, and we select where we want to be. As far as these grays, I also open-minded that these grays, a lot of people talk about, they don't really have emotions. There's been talked about, a lot of people truly have a hold on the story that these grays are robotics. They're like androids. They don't really have any feelings. I will say this, that there are humanoids that's in the flesh and basically androids. Androids are able to reproduce. Half flesh, half machinery. It won't make any sense. A lot of people might sound like it's a comic book story, but it's not. One of my earlier channel experience, I have my DMT. I channeled with a being that was robotic type. Let's just say an android or an AI. Let's just say an AI. But it was flesh. It had feelings, but it could reproduce. You know, everything ties together. You know, there's really not much difference between humans and ETs. I mean, not in a more in a spiritual aspect. Now, physically wise, okay, we could say that they look different physically. They able to align themselves with technology that man dreamed of. But I just want to go back that man definitely can align himself with free energy and technology. People, I will say this, that people are able to, you can't change your DNA, that your physical body is different, and that how you could withstand different high pressure. You can. This does take meditation. Meditation, and I like, again, I know I talked about this in my previous parts. Meditation is a very powerful weapon, okay, or as a tool. Let's just say it's a powerful tool, okay? When you tune into the right frequencies, you could change not only your reality, but you could change your physical body. You could alter your physical body. But this does take focus. This does take highly focused. You could communicate with spirits. As far as dealing with what she was talking about, you know, she was talking about dealing with angry spirits. Every case is different. It all depends on the vibe that you're giving off. That what attracted you to a spirit that's very angry. This is different by case. This is something that a lot of people will have to investigate for themselves. If you don't have the answers to things, everybody, into the, let's just say the paranormal, excuse me, it's okay. You know, it's okay not to have the answers. The answer will come to you. this requires people to be open. Okay, it definitely requires. I mean, I don't want to knock down people that learn scientific studies in books, you know, through books and stuff like that, and research. You know, that's an experience. I personally feel that a lot of people are going to have to let go of their textbook. I know people want evidence, scientific evidence. I know you can't put everything into a lab to understand the thing that's the outer world stuff or different dimensions. No. This is something that people are going to have to examine these things from within. To have an understanding, the knowledge that's within everybody, to give yourself more clarity. What is this life about? What is this place? Everybody can hone into that. And you know, I was listening to this video, and I understand she feels frustrated with people in different fields that's into researching about ghosts and spirits. They don't want to know anything about the ET realm and all that stuff. And you know, a lot of it has a lot to do with the ego. You know, people, you know, again, don't take this out, I'm knocking people. It's that we become too structural. You can't be too structured. You can't rely on structure and to understand things beyond the norm, quote unquote. You're not going to go anywhere. You know, after listening to her, and she has a talk show, I say to myself, you know, I may give that talk show a call. I may do it. I really see myself calling. I feel that I feel like I like to put myself out there more. And I'm very selective where I talk. You know, I definitely like to share things with people, and you know, on the internet and stuff like that. You know, and I'm becoming a little bit more comfortable talking to people more in person about it. But the internet, I like to reach out, figuring that maybe I could just, you know, reach out a lot of people more at once on the internet. But as far as a talk show, yeah, I'm gonna really meditate about that. I definitely I'm gonna go with my heart in that, you know, to call her show. I want to bring some clarity to a lot of people. I know a lot of us have questions about this. A lot of us. The answer is right there. The answer is right there. You know, a lot of my clips, again, I bridge about the spirit world and ETs. You know, a lot of the ET beings are watching humans. People are very interesting to watch. You know, they really are. You know, it's a lot of the, see, kind of, how do I put it? We have to be, it's very important to be open. It's very, very important. And, you know, I know when a lot of people, when they feel like they're in doubt or they don't believe you, they just decided not to be ready. I know it could be frustrating to tell people to share people to the phenomenal, or you feel like the government is, you know, or is not, you know, keeping the truth from people. You know, a lot of us, we like to think about those stuff, and when we talk about, or we put together evidence, you know, people dismiss it. Oh, it's a hoax. Oh, that's not real. You saw something in the sky. And people dismiss it. These things are not done by accident. There's a reason why these things are happening. People decided to be closed off. You know? I know it can be very frustrating. And anybody that goes through this, if you see something that you can't explain, like it just doesn't seem to fit in this dimension, but you have it in you to share things, don't be discouraged if people don't believe you. Look, a lot of stuff that I share on my YouTube, and I talk about what I am. Okay? I mean, I can't sit there and think that people are not going to believe me and they just look at me and say, he's just a guy. You know? He doesn't have blue skin. He doesn't have long ears or big black eyes. He's just a regular guy. Yeah, I am a man, but I tell you what I am beneath the flesh. You know, people choose to believe what they want to believe. I know who I am. Okay, and that's enough. But I'm going to share things to people. I mean, yeah, a lot of stuff I talk about it'll be extremely fantastical to a lot of people. But I'm going to still share stuff. Anybody that goes through these things, you have these experiences, you find odd things in your home, or share it. You know, don't worry about people not going to believe you. People reported orbs and stuff like that. Orbs are life form. There's different orbs. Orbs are energy based. They have different emotions. They go from different dimensions. Okay. There's another type of orb that there are an actual physical being within that orb, and it travels. They look pretty much the same. It's hard to tell unless you look past that light and see the core of that orb. Yes, there are small beings within that orb, and they use it to travel. And when they travel and they decided to stop at whatever dimension they go to, the orb just melts away and it just walks on ground, that being. Yeah, dimensional doors. She was talking about dimensional doors. They see beings, some sort of ET walking through a dimensional door on the sky, or an orb that enters a portal door. Yes, that is true. I shared this in my other clips, my past clips, that my way of traveling, on a physical realm, I use a lot of portal doors. That was my main mode of travel on the physical body. But on the spirit is out of body experience. I have a lot more, let's just say, and the physical is a little bit limited to how many places you would go. But when you're in the spirit, you go to a lot more places. There's really no limit to that. So yeah, I mean, those things are true. So yeah, I'd definitely like to, talk about these things to more people. Now, I gotta be real. I mean, I'm going through these emotions, in the human being, living the human experience and having certain emotions, like for example, I have self-doubt. I have feelings like, oh wow, I share these things and people are not gonna believe me that I'm an ET. I don't have enough proof physically for people to look at me. I told my friend this. If I decided and came in this world into my other form, people are gonna think I'm some sort of god. Seriously, either people are gonna think I'm some sort of god or I'm a threat. That's just the feeling I detected before I came to Earth. So I decided to say, you know what? Let me come in, reincarnate myself into a human body, merge my spirit into the human spirit, the spirit in this human body, and I'll just start my journey from there. But yeah, I really felt strongly that I didn't want to come in my other form. But then there's times I felt like, you know what? I thought about recently that I want to meditate. And I wanted to shift out of my human form and go into my other form while I'm in this world. I thought about it. I did. And I know that's going to take it's going to take a lot of focus, a lot more. But I do believe it could be done. It depends where my heart's at, I'm just going to say this. I'm enjoying sharing the stuff right now in this journal. I don't got nothing to prove to anybody. I know that's just being so egotistic. I'm not trying to go around trying to prove anything to anybody. I like to share things to people that's ready, that decide to be ready, and open-minded people, you know, and it's an honor to share these things. But yeah, I definitely want to do my best to show people, to bring some clarity into the, you know, into the quote-unquote mysteries. A lot of people, you know, everybody, you can align yourself to a lot of things. That's incredible stuff. It's all in you. Don't let your human form fool you. You got to understand what you are beneath the flesh. The ET beings, what they do is all the thing what the ET beings done is a lot of our galactic friends is hone into that the power within. Okay, it's all about focus. Applies to any being, and basically tune in that frequency level. You align yourself to other knowledge from within. Okay, I just want to keep it very simple. If you want to build a spacecraft that don't have any wings, and you want to just let it or know how to operate it, you can't align yourself how to operate it, to produce one and operate it. There are ET beings that's willing to basically assist people. They are. But I know right now, you know, humanity, as long as humanity is holding on to their world governments, that's into, you know, these militarized governments, a lot of the ET beings, they don't want to assist in that direction as far as spacecraft. And also, I want to say this, and I know a lot of people talk about ETs or communicating with the government. You know, I'm going to say this. Now, these beings, okay, they're only going to do their best to try to assist humanity. Now, for any being that does try to go along with the role of trying to enslave humans, which a lot of people feel deep down in their heart what's going on, right, the reptilians, that's not going to stop the awakening. People awaken. That's not going to stop that. There are other ET beings figured that they want to communicate with these so-called world powers. But ultimately, these ET beings, a good majority of them, let's just say, they don't really care about political agenda of talking to some, let's say, take me to your leader stuff. They don't really care about it. They want to really assist people abroad, you know, and that's what really is about. So anyway, I just want to say that, you know, I did talk about if you want to interact with an ET being, if that's what you really want, I already said in my other parts how to do it. It's not hard. And you're gonna have to really let go of self-doubt. You have to understand, everybody, your spirit is built in with frequencies. You can communicate. These beings that we talk about is all from the same source. You could alter your reality. Like I was doing an experiment, but then I realized that it's the same thing that I've done before. It's not really much. I just felt like, I guess there's a part of me wanted to say, let's go along and just try it this way. But communicating to my mother that passed on from this world is the same thing me communicating with my mother from a different lifetime. And I just want to share this, my experience over the weekend, and also talk about this clip that I watch. And I provided a link below. If anybody, if anybody subscribed to my channel, thank you very much for all the genuine and open-minded people. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And I appreciate a small donation. It doesn't matter the amount. It's always appreciated. I do have a PayPal on my front page of my my YouTube page. But yeah, I'm gonna, it's in my heart. I'm gonna really go forward going to these talk shows and talk about it. And I'm gonna be honest up front, everybody. Okay? Yeah, this small thoughts comes into me, saying that people are not going to believe anything what I have to say. I do not have enough credentials for people to take me anything what I have to say seriously. And you see that? That is my own test. I gave myself that test. And now, what I'm going to do about that test? Am I going to go forward or I'm going to stand back? That's a test that I put myself. Just want to share that with everybody. You know, we put ourselves through different things for a reason. These are spiritual paths and lessons that we go through. Okay? I just want to close out with that. Okay, everybody. Until then, I will be back for part 78. Take care.